I would like to ask you something. What would be the most grueling thing that you have ever done where you would not hesitate to cry, where there was risk to your life, where the desire to survive was at the highest, like a mother during her childbirth, like an individual battling cancer, or it can be the struggling steps for a paraplegic? The reason why I'm asking you this is, there are many people in this world who describe the feeling of missing something which is very close to their heart, yet they don't know what it is. Did you ever make an effort to find out what it is? I was born and brought up in suburbs of Bangalore, did my schooling, went to medical school, joined the Indian Army, got married, blessed with a son, did my post-graduation aerospace medicine, and so on and on. But yes, there was something missing. That inner search for something deeper within me, and that is when I found my passion in ultra-cycling, which helped me discover a special person. This journey within did give me with certain learnings, which I find it to be special and worth sharing. Ultra-cycling refers to cycling distances more than 200 kilometers. I started off with small distances. When I did 100, I pushed to 200, 300, and so on. Having learned more about the sport, I dreamt about doing Leh to Kanyakumari, and I did that in 2014, covering a distance of 4,000 kilometers in 15 days and setting a national record. Thank you. At that moment, there was one qualification race that I qualified for, which is considered to be the world's toughest qualification race, called the Race Across America. I qualified for this toughest race in Pune and started off my journey. I would like to tell you about Race Across America. It is considered to be one of the toughest ultra-cycling race in the world. It involves cycling 5,000 kilometers in 12 days from the west coast of America to the east coast of America, crossing 12 different states, 3 time zones, 3 mountain passes, 4 rivers, with extremes of temperature. The race is a time trial race. It does not stop for any reason for the next 288 hours. There are 7.3 billion people in this world, amongst which there are 550 who have been to space, and more than 4,000 have climbed Mount Everest, more than 1,500 have swam across the English Channel, more than 7 lakh people have done the Ironman triathlon successfully. There are only 336 people who have finished Race Across America successfully till date in 37-year history of the race, which makes the race the toughest. To cycle this distance, an average of 450 kilometers has to be cycled every 24 hours with as little as 2 hours of sleep. I participated in this race in 2016. Just to make it to the start line of the race, I had to put all my resources just to make it to the start line because I was a self-funded athlete. I cycled 4,300 kilometers and was short of 700 kilometers. I was left with only 27 hours. I did not finish the race, and I was sad and dejected at that moment. At the same moment, my wife, Prafulla, who was one of my crew members, she said, let's go to the finish line and see how finishers relish their success. It sounded really weird to me. But then we drove down 700 kilometers. We went to the finish line to see how finish looks. At that moment, the race director at the banquet hall of the finish line ceremony asked me, did you get a taste of Ram? I was sad at that moment. That question did hit me. But my wife spontaneously said, he's going to come back and he's going to be the first Indian to finish. I was shocked to hear the spontaneity of her response. I understood how strongly she wants me to be at the finish line. I know we have all experienced failures. How did you deal with failure? Did you make use of them? I certainly did make use of my failure in Race Across America 2016. I embraced it with both my arms. Failure helped me understand the race much better. It made me more humble. It helped me connect to people who have done Race Across America in the past. Failure was a treasure. I did learn to treasure my failure in 2016. With that intent, I registered for the race for 2017, almost 11 months before. When passwords of your emails and bank accounts are set to, I will do it 2017 100%. What does it mean? That is what it was. I badly wanted a successful finish in Race Across America. Strong desire helped me visualize the journey and the success. There were millions of reasons for me not doing Race Across America, but the only reason that I want was the strong desire, which was the talisman that I found in this journey. As soon as I registered, the journey then onwards was all about hours and hours of training, mileage running in thousands of kilometers, building a committed crew, and planning my logistics. To train for Race Across America, I had to leave my normal self behind. I was making use of every single day that I got. Either I thought about RAM or trained or planned for the race. So RAM became my way of life. I started to visualize the journey, I started to visualize the success, the finish line. So at the start line of the race on 14 June 2017, I had a very strong crew, very sharp focus, very strong strategy, and a very strong desire to make it to the finish line. But RAM is a unique race with lots of ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster. It's like putting a gladiator into a pit with a lion. Death is a part of it and a horrifying part of it. You know, consuming 10,000 calories of liquid food, that is equivalent to eating 50 samosas in every 24 hours, you know, and consuming about 20 liters of fluid in every 24 hours for the next 12 days. How does it feel? Ultra-cycling races are battles, huge battles of survival. When it comes to survival, it all boils down to the fundamentals. So the fundamentals are Kana, Pina, and Sona. Respect to each one of them was very crucial. The strategy that we had was feeding 350 calories of liquid food every hour and about 750 ml of electrolytes every hour for the next 12 days. We showed discipline to each one of them, and that was the key for us. But even though we had strategized, I did succumb to dehydration as early as 30 hours into the race. I had to be given intravenous fluids in a small follow van and had to get back into the race, and it took almost 5 days to get back into the normal form. So from then onwards, I was feeding like a monster. We showed discipline in meticulously logging each and every hour the feeds, and I was getting back stronger into the race. We all know that the world out here believes in numbers more. But is that the end of the world? Or do you believe in that superpower within you which can create the magic when the numbers are not looking bright? As early as 72 hours into the race, one of my crew chief, you know, who follows me in a follow van, he got a call from his friend. He started talking to his friend. I could overhear his conversation. I was on the bike, I was moving ahead, and he was in the follow vehicle behind. He was talking to his friend, telling that this guy will not make it to the next cutoff point as he is running 10 hours short, and he will not make it to the finish line even this time. I was shocked to hear that my crew chief lost his hope, which we built for almost 11 months, and within 3 days into the race, he has lost hope on me. So I stopped the race. I called all my 11 crew members. I asked them, what did they feel about my race? They said, we'll just stick to the strategy, take the next sleep break, and keep riding stronger. My crew chief said, yes, numbers don't look bright, but magic can happen. So we took the next sleep break. At that point, when I took my 2 hours of sleep break, my wife, we both had a strong conversation between each other. She said, you came all the way, and why are you not riding? Why are you not giving your 100%? What stops you from riding 100% when your crew has done all the sacrifice, put all their time and resources for you to be at the finish line, and why are you not giving your 100%? That sparked me up at that moment, and I showed my focus towards the average speed that I was riding. I was coming back stronger. My crew fed me well, and we were back on track. But in this race, life cannot go so easy. At 2000, there was one waiting for us at 2,000 kilometers. At that point, there was a 90-kilometer section of the race, which we presumed it to be the easiest part. It was the midnight, and we were hit with strong headwinds, which was pushing me off the track, and it made me weaker. I was feeling, man, the headwinds are not allowing me stronger. I think I don't know what to do. So I stopped in confusion. I asked my crew, what should I do? My crew said, wear your dow jacket, wear your ski pants, focus on the music that you love, and keep pedaling. So what I did was, I did as they said, and I told myself that I am not going to allow things that are not under my control. I am not going to allow the headwinds to affect me, and I focused on my pedaling and on the music that is played and was moving forward. This small tweak in the mindset did help me, it taught me an important lesson, that is, transform whatever problems into challenges, accept them, and focus on essentials. This learning helped me all the way throughout the race and also in my day-to-day life. I would like to ask you another thing. Have you ever feared peeing as a waste of time? There are only 288 hours given for Race Across America, and I also participated in a race called as Race Around Austria this August, and 132 hours to cover 2,200 kilometer distance. So showing discipline towards time was the key thing, and time was factored in all aspects of the race. Time taken to take a shower, time taken to eat, time taken to change your clothes, time taken to take a sleep break. Because I was drinking about 17 to 20 liters of fluid every 24 hours, I was peeing every, twice in an hour. So I can't get down the bike and pee, and so I used to pee from my bike. So that is how it was, So we made every second count at that particular point. Another important thing that I want to ask you, going sleepless for 12 continuous days with as little as 2 hours of sleep, how do you see this? We all know that sleep is a magic tool. Sleep can do wonders for all of us. It can rejuvenate, it can repair, it can put you back on track. We had a sleep strategy of sleeping 2 hours during the day, every 24 hours. We showed discipline and respect to the strategy that was in place. I was in the top 10 of the race in the first 24 hours, and by the 30th hour of the race, I dropped down to 27th position because of dehydration. We did not alter the strategy that we had because of the jolt at the 30th hour, which we believed almost 11 months. Instead, we showed tolerance. We allowed time for the strategy to work for us. So at the end, at the finish line, I moved up to the 7th position from the deep down 27th position to finish the race in 11 days, 18 hours, and 45 minutes. Thank you. I applied the same learnings in Race Around Austria, and that is considered to be one of the Europe's toughest ultra-cycling race. And I finished that race again in 130 hours, and I made use of the same learnings even here. what I want to tell you most important is, all these races are, you have a solo rider riding all these races. But without the selfless efforts of my committed crew members, it is impossible for me to be at the finish line. I was so shamelessly dependent on my crew members for things like taking a shower, applying a sunscreen, applying a lip balm, pulling the zips of the jersey, buckling the shoes, wearing the gloves, wearing warmers, and so on and on. The team spirit that we carried guided us towards the finish line. Since 2009, it's all about those tiny little steps which I took towards achieving a dream. There were no shortcuts, no fast solutions, no instant gratification. I believed in the fundamental principle bit by bit. I believed if I want to get there, I need to take those tiny little steps. However prepared we are, things are not going to turn out the way we want it. Even in these 2 races, I had to face many challenges, such as broken bikes, broken ribs, broken fingers, pneumonia, unknown place, navigation issues, and the agony of failure. I continued to cycle even though I was crying like a baby on the bike, even though my whole body was hurting. The one mantra that I was telling myself is, hang in there, you will make it. I am just a normal guy who is committed and desirous of finding my deeper self through my passion. This journey, the self-exploratory journey, did teach me the power of desire, belief, self-belief, ability to accept challenges, believing in bit by bit, the power of teamwork, the power of humility, and to hang in there in difficult times. Finding the power within can not only transform you, but can also ignite the people around you. Ask yourself, what is it that's really missing? Find your passion, shatter those limits, dig deeper into your own self, find a hero within you. The journey is worth taking. Thank you very much.